I will destroy you, Julio. That sentence echoed inside my head, a silent scream I smothered beneath the weight of a comforter and the farce of deep sleep. The silence in our bedroom was never peaceful. It always carried the weight of a coffin lid, but that night the air felt even heavier, almost solid, sliding down my lungs like molten lead. I lay there, motionless, my eyelids shut just tightly enough to convince anyone, yet relaxed enough that my lashes wouldn't betray me under the scrutiny of the man who shared my life. Julio was sitting on the edge of the bed. I felt the mattress dip beneath his weight, an imbalance that felt like the perfect metaphor for our 7-year marriage. 7 years. 70 years of pure deception. The sound of his breathing was that of a predator who believes the prey has already surrendered. But I was no longer the prey. I was the bait and he was the blind fish. I could smell the whiskey he'd been drinking in the living room, a bitter trail lingering in the dark, mixed with the citrus scent of his cologne that I once considered the smell of safety, of home. How pathetic I had been. How naive not to see the cracks, the black holes in that man's soul. Cursed irony. My fingers beneath the comforter wanted to curl, my legs screamed to move, to run, to strike, but I forced every muscle into absolute stillness. Pretending sleep was the only weapon I had left, the perfect disguise for the birth of my revenge. I heard the soft click of his phone unlocking. The glow of the screen, even through my closed eyelids, flashed blue across my mental field of vision. Like lightning revealing a scene of horror. I knew he was smiling. Julio has that sideways, sarcastic smile he wears when he thinks he's fooled the entire world. The same smile that once convinced me he was merely a misunderstood, brilliant man, a genius waiting to be recognized. "You have no idea, Jane," he whispered. It was so low that if I had truly been asleep, it would have been nothing more than the noise of a distant dream. But I was there. Every syllable vibrated through my bones, every letter engraving itself into my memory like an epitaph for our love and a sentence for his life. He stood up, and the sound of his footsteps on the hardwood floor was like the ticking of a bomb. Each step pulled me deeper into the abyss of his betrayal. He walked to the window and I heard the rustle of the curtains, a soft sound that clashed brutally with the violence of the words that followed. "She really thinks the insurance will cover everything if the negligence is hers," he went on, talking to himself. A habit he'd developed over time, the arrogance of someone who doesn't need an audience to feel superior, to spew his vile thoughts. My mind raced, a whirlpool of dark thoughts. Insurance? Negligence? What was this bastard talking about? What was he accusing me of? A bead of cold sweat slid from my temple onto the pillow, and I prayed he wouldn't notice the tremor in my body. Rage began to boil in my stomach like acid, burning through the edges of my patience, corroding the last fiber of affection I might have had left for him. I wanted to leap from the bed, dig my nails into that perfect face and demand the truth, scream, thrash. But the instinct for survival, or rather the instinct for vengeance, kept me pinned to the sheets. Julio let out a dry little laugh, that guttural sound he makes when he watches someone fall in a video online, or when one of his tasteless jokes is met with forced laughter. It was cruel, the ugliest sound I'd ever heard from him, and now the most revealing. Poor Jane. So meticulous with finances, so careful with the house. And it'll be the very stove she cleans so much that ends this whole farce. My heart jolted so violently I was sure he'd hear it pounding through the room. The stove? Was he planning